Hi everyone, this is Parenting Astrology, and this is a new concept that we're adding to our casual conversations on spirituality, the spirituality metaphysics behind things. I'm your girl Karina. Welcome to the channel. My favorite topic to bounce everything off of is astrology, but I'm also going to be tying in some of the gene keys from human design, from the concepts of human design. It's not quite human design, but it's like a branch off of human design, which I've been really diving into. And it's time to start talking to us parents about how we can kind of stand in the purpose that we are, feel confident about yourself as a parent, be able to handle stress and struggles in a way that makes you feel confident. And also, how can you use your astrology to kind of cultivate, your child into their best self, right? Well, it's really important to understand that the astrology is not navigating it. It's just a tool. The same thing with all of these gene keys and divinations that we use. They're merely tools that we add onto the journey. So I really want to make sure that I put my point of view on that. And I wanted to discuss with you guys first the planet Saturn. I've been talking about Saturn lately, so it really is the reason why I've been motivated to start parenting astrology concepts. And Saturn plays a very integral role, okay? Saturn is about the ability to put into action the karma of what has happened before, okay? And so as a parent, you have the astrology in your bag, and you may actually approach Saturn in a way that may actually be at your detriment if you see Saturn as this punishment factor, okay? Because it's the very idea of Saturn being punishment that, I really want to kind of discuss. I did so actually in this video called Saturn and Hierarchy, so I definitely recommend for you to watch that. And understanding that what your the expression of Saturn that I think we all are trying to get to is where your child can go off into the world and exercise a certain level of self-discipline that allows them to get what they want and to feel like they can fend for themselves out in the world. Quite often, this does not work with Saturn and the concepts of punishment. As you can see, even in today's day and age, when somebody's at the point of punishment, they're on their way to jail, not on their way out into the world. And so this is the very idea of slaves that I've also wanted to bring to the topic. Slaves is deeply connected to the earth elements, but they also have connections to the air elements and the words, well, actually the Slavic words. The Slavic language is actually deeply connected to these ideas. And so Saturn, we really want to look at what is going on here on a parenting way. But when you understand it from the ways that I just spoke, you might be able to see where the direction I'm going, in which the opposite of the Saturnian energy is the nurturing energy. And so that comes from Capricorn versus Cancer, right? Or even Aquarius versus Leo, where you're finding the moon in Leo, the moon, the emotion, and Leo, the ego, which they both can be very sensitive, right? And then you've got these Saturnian signs that are about being out in the world where they can chew you up and take you down. And as a parent, you're working with Saturn to help guide your child in order to do so. So the first approach is to avoid punishment as a means for lessening your child through Saturn, recognizing that Saturn is the concept of self through discipline and effort. So there's an idea of being able to kind of struggle through something, or kind of find the cultivated calling to want to work so diligently that the struggle is barely even an issue, and if you can pull that energy from your child, then you are probably going to feel very satisfied as a parent. So Saturn is a lot about the parent's satisfaction as well, okay? Now, the thing to consider here with Saturn, where your child's Saturn is, well, actually, let's first start with yours, okay? Where your Saturn is the way that you are kind of going to be working out your sense of discipline and calling with your role as a parent. So let's say if you have Saturn, for instance, in the 10th house in its natural state, right? well, you may be dealing with self-concepts of, are you even parent enough to be a parent? Are you a parent enough to be a parent, in the sense of, do you even feel confident in being a parent and knowing how to guide your child? These may be some of the things that you may be struggling with. And so, and you may even want to try to be punishing yourself in, or see the punishment externally from others maybe around you, about how you need to be a better parent. But really, this is depleting the self-concept. And so if you as a parent have Saturn in the 10th house, what you're going to want to do is work on your self-concept where your Saturn is. That's going to really help, because you're probably going to be projecting all of that onto the child. Okay. I have, so don't worry. We all make mistakes, but change is the best gift. We have the ability to change in an instant. And this is kind of the secret behind Saturn, because I feel like Saturn is this idea of waiting forever for something, and if you change your self-concept, if you change the authority in your mind, if it's an external authority, then it becomes punishment. But if it becomes your own internal authority, well, then, as long as you trust yourself, you're good, so that's something that's happening here with you as a parent with your Saturn. Now, where your child's Saturn is going to also be very important, because this is where they will struggle with self-concept. Okay, here's a few things to consider. There's a way to count the age. We're starting from the first house, it's age 1, second house age 2, age 3, yada 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 yada. Right? So you can actually do that and map out the ages where the self-concept will be challenged, just based off of Saturn's placement. So if you have Saturn in the second house, then the self-concept will be challenged at age 2. Okay, so let's say your child has Saturn in the second house, and your child is now 6. Right? You can look at their chart and be like, where did this come from? Well, let me think about some of the situations that they were in around age 2, right? That kind of originated maybe their self-concept. And from there, you might be able to have some information on how you can, get to the root of the origin of what they are missing, right? And that typically is something that you may have missed, and that's absolutely fine as a parent. But the biggest thing is being able to see that, okay? So, this is a conversation that it can't be just for me alone. So I need you guys to talk to me down in the comments. Let me know, how is this resonating with you? What are the questions? What are the suggestions? What are the things that are coming up for you? This is definitely a community thing. I actually did try to do it a while back, but just didn't stay disciplined on it. So it's my turn, right? All right, so now I want to talk about the gene keys. If you stayed this long and you are here for the gene keys, here's a big whoopie that I absolutely love about the gene keys, because I've been placing my astrology chart right on my gene keys chart, okay, and discovered that the fourth house is the energy that you're born into. So it's the home, it's the home that you're born into. It's the energy that you're born into. All right. While the first house, second house, and the third house build up to the fourth house, you will discover that anybody who, how they basically show up in the world, right, is based off of their fourth house and the energy they were born into. And how well did they transmute that fourth house in order to do it? And we all have an energy that we're born into that we have to transmute. Okay, so I decided to do this for myself. And when I placed my gene keys on top of my astrology chart, you'll see that the purpose actually is born in the fourth house. The purpose is born from where you come from. Okay, and so the idea here is that you're kind of transmuting yourself through this bottom part of your chart. And when you show up in the world, you kind of bring with you the reputation, the thing that you are supposed to be due to the purpose that was cultivated within you in the space that you were born with. And we all have this. So you might be like, no, I didn't have no purpose. I wasn't born into anything. Well, guess again. It's that very thing that you're saying or whatever you're reacting to that is a hint towards what your purpose is and how you need to transmute it. Okay. Well, for me, you'll see that the gene keys, all right, the gene keys, they splice it down into 3 sections, and I always love it when people do this because it's a natural classification for hierarchy. So it's really helpful in seeing. And so theirs is the shadow, the gift, and the city. Okay, and I'm showing you mine right now. Now, we all have a shadow, right? We all have a gift, and then we all have this city, right? Depending on the gene keys. Now, what it allows for you to do is to see, like, basically how it's going to show up. It's going to show up as the shadow, and then this is the gift that you can kind of give to yourself and give to others, right? In order to transmute this, and then you've discovered that you are in this space, this new world, which is the new city, a new city that you just visited. This is how I like to see it. So if you put your purpose at the bottom of your, right on top of your birth chart, you will see that your 4th house is going to be right where the purpose part of the gene keys map is. So this got me looking at my chart, my daughter's chart, my husband's chart, and just starting with mine, I was born in the shadow of arrogance, right? Because now we're taking the 4th house and the gene keys makeup here, right? And this is very powerful because the gene keys is really about these kind of internal contemplations that in the state of kind of contemplating, you come to this awakening or this almost revealing. That's what the city becomes. And it literally is changing your gene code. This is powerful stuff. It's absolutely accurate, especially when I'm talking about spiritual weight loss. On my spiritual weight loss videos, it's the same idea that if you can change the way that you're thinking and the way that you are seeing the world and have these ahas, you're actually affecting your body on its most, tiniest little drops that create big ripples into your body. So yeah, so I discovered that the 4th house is being born into the shadow of arrogance. And so this gave me a chance to really see, even as a parent, where it is that I've been going off and being able to shift that. Now, what was really gut-wrenching was looking at my daughter's gene keys on top of hers and recognizing that her 4th house is born under the shadow of corruption. So I was just like, oh my God, I'm corrupt, I'm awful. And, just going through the process, but definitely recognizing that this is a gift to be able to see this in this way, because the ability to take on that understanding of how you can guide your child to be able to go out in the world and start to act in their purpose allows them to be connected to their Saturn, naturally be gifted to who they are, because it's probably the shadow that they're born to in the 4th house that is also kind of holding the Saturn in this space of not being confident, not being able to fend for themselves, not being able to go out into the world for themselves. So this is something that is really important. And I think that it's a conversation that we can really start to have together about how we can use these tools to really change the next generation, to give them the things that we know we can give them, with the stuff, to use this material, right, instead of forsake it. So let's do it. Parenting astrology. Let's get it on.